Good morning. This is Bobby Dupre with the Bobby Dupre Show, presented to you each Thursday morning at 7 a.m. And of course, many are watching it on your cable services at home. Some are watching it on the old-time antenna system, and yet many more are watching it on the internet worldwide. That's correct. The Bobby Dupre Show worldwide, and my sidekick. Good morning to you. And that is Matt LeBlanc, and on the backside is Dylan Guillory. So tighten up, get yourself something to drink, a good cold drink, and relax, and don't relax and drive. Well, I guess some are watching it. They have services they could probably watch it while they're driving.
Well, we hope no.
We
don't want them to watch it while they're driving.
We don't want to
watch it while you're riding, but not driving.
That's correct. The riders can watch it. But anyhow, the Bobby Dupre Show. We hope you are interested in it, and if you are, tell some friends and let them check it out for themselves to see if they find something. We never get into controversial things. We try to bring you good news, and we'll start right off with a few obituaries that have occurred last week and this week so far. And we'll start off with Mr. Ronald Castillo. We have some pictures with this. Ronald was 60 years old, a relatively young man. I got to knowing Ronald, I guess you could say, through politics. In local Opelousas politics, you wanted him on your side if you could get him. He was very, very well respected in the community. He could put those signs out. He could talk to the people and get permission, proper permission, and permission of where to put it on their property, and on and on. But when we had fundraisers and all, he was always there doing the legwork, as I refer to it, and you could depend on him. Our deepest sympathies to Ronald Castillo and his two sons and his many friends. And Mr. Emil Pelafig, who I'd not seen in a long time, but I remembered Mr. Emil when he was a salesman over at Baudelaire Motors in Opelousas, where he started off as a mechanic. He learned the mechanic trade while he was in the Second World War. And when he returned, he went to work as a mechanic there, and then pretty soon, I guess, they noticed that he had a smooth tongue. So they moved him up to sales, and he stayed there for quite a number of years. Mr. Emil was 92, so he lived a nice, full life. Deepest sympathies to...
Just so you know, that's my uncle.
Well...
Emil was my grandmother's brother.
Didn't know that. See, I'm still trying to learn something. And another person who died, originally from Opelousas, but I noticed she was living in Port Barry, and I'm speaking of Pauline Latchelet, age 59, very young lady. And of course, I know very well her brother Clayton and Roderick, who is a chef, and her sisters Elaine Gilry and her husband Alan, and Betty Stelly and husband Russell of Church Point, and Joan Roy of Opelousas. So someone that I knew from way back, hadn't seen her in quite a while, but I know the family, and I guess I know Clayton the best.
I didn't know Pauline, but I know her sister Joan very, very well.
Okay.
Good
and
people.
Good folks. And then Miss Betty Rose Lalonde. Miss Lalonde was 86 years old, or 86 years young. We maybe need to turn that around a little bit, Bobby. You kind of getting near that age yourself. So, but her husband was the late Chief of Police, Mr. Percy Lalonde, who was a policeman for the city for many years, and then ran and was elected maybe 2 terms as mayor. And she leaves behind a good friend, and my very good friend, Bruce Jennings. They had been seeing each other for several years now, and I visited at her house, and my sympathies to all of her friends and family. And last night I had the opportunity to go by the funeral home at Ceballos and visit with the family of Gerald Kidare, senior, age 75, a young man. Now we're talking about young people here. And of course, his wife for 48 years, I've known her all my life, Janice Harmon Kidder, and her children, Karen, and husband Glenn of Karen Crow, Jerry Kidder and wife Shelley of Karen Crow, Kevin Kidder and family Kay of Karen Crow, and Joyce Kidder Moody and her husband in Mississippi, and of course they list his father-in-law, Mr. Marion Horman. What a life he's lived. Visited with him. His wife, who's deceased now, Miss Lois, was Dupre and kin to me. So I've always been a relative of that family, Horman family. And Mr. Marion was there visiting, of course, and 96 years young. Wow. I'm going to say young because you talk with him and you have no idea you're talking to a 96-year-old person. He's still very, very alert, so much so that he still drives. Now, listen to that. He's still driving. So my deepest sympathies to the whole family. I know it was tough. It happened pretty quick. Things just went bad within his body, and God took him, and we'll all meet up, hopefully, at a later date. And a person who I saw passed away must have been, we taping on Wednesday morning, as we do generally. And we, on Tuesday, apparently Miss Joy Delahousie Bernard passed away. And her funeral will be at 10 o'clock Thursday, which is today's actual showing of the first time of the show on cable companies and local TV. And of course, she was 82 years young, and her husband preceded her, and I'm speaking of Ralph Bernard, a person that I knew very, very well, and of course I got to know Joy over the years well also, so my very deepest of sympathies to Joy and her family. And I think that unless I find something else in this stack here of papers, I think of taking care of the, and did you give our sponsors?
Not quite yet.
Okay, let's get our sponsors in. That's a good time to do them. Got time?
Yeah, let's talk about Targill Butcher and Seasoning Supplies in Opelousas, located on Wartell Drive. And Targill, you can see them for all your kitchen needs, your pots, pans, kitchen utensils, knives, really good knives, but also a
commercial
Targill
quality, because that's
quality.
what they really started. That company was started prior to Ted Bellard and family buying that company.
Yeah.
That was there, and they maybe did a little bit of seasoning, but I think the seasoning really came into play
after.
Since Ted started the company.
Now the seasoning, of course, is what they're known for now.
Now, that's correct. But they still try to sell and stay in touch with their friends and their customers out there that are in the restaurant type of business.
Absolutely. I know several chefs go to Targill for their supplies. But see them also for all your seasoning needs. They can bottle it, package it for you, and they make an absolutely wonderful product. They'll take care of you over at Targill, www.targill.com. And we also want to talk about our friends in Opelousas at Carl's Thriftyway and Gift Shop. I was at Carl's on Monday browsing through the gift shop. I always say that the gift shop has some really nice stuff, and you can see here, we're showing you a couple of pictures. They've got clothing, and right now, I don't know how long it's going on, but while I was there, all clothing was on sale, and I want to say it was like 50% off. Don't quote me, but it was.
I know it was 30
quite a bit.
a few days ago.
Yeah.
So they keep getting it down as the amount dwindles down.
So go see them over at Carl's Thriftyway for all your pharmaceutical needs. You get your prescriptions filled there, and of course, while you're there waiting on your prescriptions, which isn't long at all, browse through the gift shop and take a look for some gifts.
Okay, what's next? We have a few minutes left. I
Yeah,
can't
we got
tell
a
y'all's
couple more.
time. Okay, good. Get ready for jail or put up the bail. And it's all done for charity. And our well-known international celebrity deputy sheriff, Lieutenant Clay Higgins of the St. Landry Parish Sheriff's Department, is putting the handcuffs on the mayor of Opelousas, Reggie Tatum. And no kidding, you see that if you can look at it closer, those handcuffs are going on there. And of course, it's all for charity. So let's settle down, Bobby, and not try to be like Lieutenant Clay Higgins, because there's only one, and he's got that notoriety going, and he is watched on whatever y'all call it, Facebook and all those channels.
YouTube. And all that.
Yep. I mean, he is very, very popular.
Well, let's hope they'll let Reggie out by next week, huh?
And this will take place today, Thursday, July the 23rd, from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. And of course, if you are placed in jail, you're going to be brought over to the Mexican restaurant.
No.
I had it down. Mexican restaurant,
and
you're going to get Sombreros.
Okay.
Sombreros restaurant at 5620 I-49 Frontage Road. That's on the east side of the road.
Right,
there.
the old Casa Ole.
That is correct. And it's going to be, you won't be able to tunnel your way out. You're going to have to put up at least $200 bail money. You can't pull an El Chapo style. That will not be admitted. You're going to have to put up your $200 or stay there and spend some time maybe in the kitchen earning
cleaning dishes.
That's correct. Should be a lot of fun. I participated years ago, and it was fun. And I didn't know it was coming. And I'm going to be out of town tomorrow, so y'all don't get any ideas.
Getting out at the right time.
That's correct. What about our time now?
You still got about 2 minutes.
Okay, what about horses, harmony, and more? Riders up, it says. And
well, that's coming up, actually. That is going to be on July 28th at the Copper Crown Equestrian Center. Actually, it's going to be at the Copper Crown...
That's called sales.
The Sales Center, Equine Sales Center.
On Harry Gilbo Road there.
That's right. It's all part of the same complex, but they have a sale barn there.
They're going to be honoring 3 notables in the community. And
there's a picture of one there.
That is... Mr. Charles Canatella.
He's receiving the Agriculture
Award. That is correct. And the Equine Award winner is Fontenot, what?
That's Brent Fontenot.
Brent Fontenot. I can recognize the face and couldn't come up with the name there. And he's been in agriculture and I guess animals throughout history, throughout his life.
And he's getting the Equine Award.
And he's getting the Equine Award, and he's a breeder and a racer of thoroughbred horses. And then, of course, the music,
everybody knows.
Harmony is Little Kenny.
Little Kenny.
And
Kenny and the Heartbreakers.
Heartbreakers. And, of course, I told a story about Little Kenny when I spoke about Little Bob. Little Kenny came in when I was one of the owners with Gene Paillet at Toby's Little Lodge, and he would come in and take the calendar for the year, and he would take all the Fridays and Saturday nights that he was going to be available, and that was almost all of the 52 weekends, and so that's how popular his music and his dance music was.
Yeah, never a dull moment.
Still is, and they don't take a break. That's their calling card. They do not take a break. They play when they start. They go till they stop. They take turns if they need to use the bathroom or something. They must not smoke or anything because they don't stop to smoke. And anyhow, Lil Kenny, you are
now he's
wonderful
getting
little
the
man.
Hadley Castile Music Award.
Music Award.
So
that
we
is
want to say
correct.
that because we want to keep Hadley in our memory, in the forefront of our memory. That is Tuesday, July 28th, 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. at the Equestrian Sale Barn at Copper Crown.
And tickets have to be bought ahead of time. There'll be none available at the door, and they're only $25. And it's a beautiful evening, and they do it kind of early so you can kind of see.
I've been there. It's very nice.
The sunset coming in.
Yep, very nice.
Very good. And
okay, we can go ahead and take a break now.
We'll take a break now. Welcome back to the Bobby Dupre Show, the second quarter of the 4-quarter program, and my sidekick here, Matt LeBlanc. And Dylan in the, what you call that room?
The control room.
Control room, the highly
Mission Command.
Mission Command, and graduate UL student, by the way, a recent graduate.
Yep.
So we uptown here. We moving up. We moving up.
Yeah.
Did you go to college?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, UL and
UL?
LSU.
Oh, go ahead. You see, I've never asked you that. Never asked you on the air. Well,
Yeah.
I suppose you'd have said, no, I did not. How would I wiggle out? Well, I'd say, well, I went, but I didn't get nothing out of it.
Well, I finised at UL.
You finished at
yeah,
UL? Well, good. Good for you.
I enjoyed my time there.
Oh, I
tremendously.
did too, and I graduated from there, and I've got this LSU shirt because football, it looks like I've always leaned towards that. But Terry Fontenot, who's a strong supporter of the UL athletic program, I might add, the whole program, has me convinced, and I've agreed to attend the homecoming.
Okay.
They throw a big, I mean, every game they have a real knockout meal and the tailgating. And they have an excellent location to do the tailgating. But he's gotten me to commit to attend the homecoming. They go all out for the homecoming.
Yeah.
So I'll see you all there. And I wanted to, real quick, I see where Congressman Bustani and Congressman Fleming are both racing to raise money. And of course, their belief is that United States Senator Vitter will be elected governor of the state of Louisiana. They're putting all their marbles with him. And they both have the intention of running for his position and are out there raising money. And I'm bringing that out. We don't usually get into politics, but Congressman Bustani, of course, is well known throughout Acadiana because he serves most of Acadiana,
Right.
and he still serves a little bit of St. Landry Parish. Not a lot, but he wanted that St. Landry Parish on his resume.
Yep.
I know what he wanted. And a good man. And his sidekick and his strong booster, of course, is Big G. And I know they're out there doing that thing, and they will still take care of all of St. Landry and anybody that needs help. Believe me, I don't know Congressman Fleming's. I've never met him, but apparently he's a well-liked up in his
Right.
northern part of the parish. So it'll be interesting to see. And then more importantly than that, if the United States Senator Vitter gets elected governor, he would then appoint a replacement for the remainder
Right, of the
till
term.
till an election could be held.
Right, special election. yeah.
Special election. So they have to jockey to see who's going to give a good percentage of the votes in that congressional districts. I'd imagine a lot of pressure on them here.
Yeah.
What you think?
Ah,
You think I might be
think
right?
so. But I'm not going to argue with you on politics.
Okay, now what?
because
No,
you're
no,
good
no,
on
no.
that.
And I'm just joking. Let's get our.
You know your politics.
Well, I don't know.
We want to talk about a couple of sponsors of ours. We've got the Quarters Casino we want to make you aware of over on the north side of Opelousas.
Exit 23 off of I-49
There you
north of
go.
Opelousas.
There you go, exit 23. And visit them for good Chevron fuel. And of course, you can try your luck at many of the video poker machines they have there. They have plenty to choose from. And while you're there, try out El Pico de Gallo Authentic Mexican Restaurant. Very authentic Mexican food. They also have a Subway, and they also have Hunt Brothers Pizza if you are inclined to just eat and go. There you go. But Quarters Casino and Travel Plaza, I-49, exit 23. Go see them over there. And we want to mention St. Landry Homestead. St. Landry Homestead in Opelousas and in Eunice and in Port Barry, is soon to be a new location in Port Barry. St. Landry Homestead has really, you can call Opelousas a new location basically because of all the improvements they've done to it. And I know they've done that in Eunice. They have a new location in Eunice. So they're really putting the good foot forward and making all the nice improvements to these banks with the electronic banking and the signage.
And let us know that they still want to be a local community bank.
Exactly.
There is a difference.
Exactly. Oh, it sure is. There sure is. You can do business the old-fashioned way with them, or you can do business the new way with them via electronics, tablets, mobile phones, things like that. But they're still there for you to go sit down with, have a cup of coffee with, and talk about your loan or your checking account. St. Landry Homestead, www.stlandryhomestead.com.
Okay, we last week I told you I spoke about me going and attending our 75th annual bi-state fishing rodeo. 75 years ago, the sheriff in St. Landry Parish, who happened to be Mr. Clayton Gilbo, along with the sheriff from Beaumont, Texas, decided to start a fishing tournament amongst, I guess, their close friends. And it grew and grew and stayed on, and we were 75 years we celebrated this past weekend. They
started that before you were born.
Oh, no. No. I was
you
3 years old.
There.
I was 3 years old. But, and I knew Mr. Clayton. He actually, their home was one, well, 2 blocks, you could say. Okay. 1 big block or 2 blocks across the street. So very, very near. Yeah. I saw the whole family raised there. And Miss Inez Gilbo, I can't think of her married name, maybe Harold. She was my 8th grade teacher, so close to that family. And we need to show some pictures, and that's not where we started, but we'll start there if that's what you're doing, Dylan. That picture there, that cover he has on his head, that's one of those wet cloths.
Okay. Keep your head cool.
Wet it down and it keeps your head cool. It looks like it would be hot, but it isn't at all. In fact, that's Freddie LeBon, my former fishing partner. His fishing partner didn't come this weekend, and so he stayed with us like he generally does, and we enjoyed. We meaning I'm the guest of Joe Ramey. I'll get it out.
There you go.
And Joe Ramey's camp, of course, is the main camp on the Texas side. So we get to see everything going on when the guys get together. So anyhow, that's fishing, and that's specs, and that's a nice. 2 nice specs. This is Joe Ramey there. This is the Intercoastal Canal. Look at the length of those barges that are being pushed. Unbelievable. Yeah. And I don't know why so many were tied up. It kind of bothered me. I asked everybody I knew over there, but nobody knew why they were so many tied up. I hope it's not a problem happening. But you can see I call it commerce, and we see that when we go into the point. We crossed that new bridge that was built a few years ago during Governor Foster's term, and it really has made our camps easily accessible. And there's hardly ever a time we pass. There's Joe Ramey. That's one of the better pictures of Joe. He's the captain of the boat, and he loves fishing. I talked to him this morning prior to going on the air for a name, and you know what? He was heading out to the camp, and he's making his deliveries. He sells and delivers. He does advertising, T-shirts, caps, all those kind of things, cups and all, and has been for years. And he takes orders and brings them back the following week, every Wednesday. Go ahead, Joe. And excellent. This is Kevin, and his last name is, that's what I call for that last name, Rosinski, and I'll just call you Kevin. And the young son of his in the middle is Cole, and his little older brother, I think he's 17, is Kyle. And I want to say something about Cole. Cole was out there fishing, he and one of his little buddies by themselves. Kevin, the father, took us on several offshore fishing trips. He's got a beautiful boat. He's an excellent captain of the boat. He brings you where the fish are and does everything for people like me, from baiting to taking the fish off. But anyhow.
He put your worm on for you?
His camp is about 2 camps down from Joe, so we get to see him practically every year. But recently, he decided to try his hand at fishing in the local waters. the inland waters like we fish the specks. And he is thoroughly enjoying it. And I want to say something. Cole is going to be some little fisherman. He loves it, and he spends as many hours as he can out there.
You got to have a love for it.
And then we're going to show a beautiful boat after a while. And I'll tell you who that boat belongs to.
Pretty
nice
sunset back there.
In the back. And those might be the sunset that my little friend sent me. Is that the sunsets or not? No, that's not them. Okay.
There's another one there.
This is from the camp right here. And
look at
Bobby
that.
Dupre caught one. How
Caught
about
the Loch
that?
Ness Monster right there.
And I have a trophy to prove that I did catch that fish. They awarded me the Lord Speckled Trout Trophy.
You got a picture of that trophy, huh?
I got a picture of it.
Yeah, he's pulling it up right
Go
here.
ahead. There's
There you go, look at
the
that.
trophy right there. Large speckled trout. And I thank you guys. I've got proof to show that I earned that one. We do a lot of trophies in the past. We don't give out as many, but they might show a dolphin or something. We never fish dolphin, our group. I'm moving him along. Okay, Joe again, another big fish. And
that's a pretty one too.
yeah,
you caught that one?
I caught that one. I don't think we kept that one. I'm not sure. But you saw he had a fish on the hook. When they hit, they start hitting.
Yeah, and all the sights on the waterway here.
Yep.
A lot of boats out there.
And as our buddy took his cool rag off the top of his head, Freddie.
There's Joe again.
There's Joe again. And this on the right is Marcel. Marcel is the friend of Jerry on the left. Jerry is a longtime member on the Texas side, and he's out of Laredo. And Marcel is an attorney friend of his, also from Laredo. And his father, of course, is a federal judge.
Wow.
So we had some high company there with
There
us,
you
and
go.
real
Good.
friendly guy. And this is Ray Ray. They call him, his name is Ray, but they call him Ray Ray. And he's our porter for the weekend, and that's Jimmy Fontenot, whose father Warren was originally from Opelousas. He has about the best location on all Port Bolivar area. He's right on the point next to the Intercoastal Canal. All that boat traffic and cargo traffic, barges and all passes right at his front door, but it doesn't bother him.
There you go.
And
that's a pretty sunset.
That's actually
that's a sunrise.
That's a sunrise right there. We leave out early sometimes.
Very nice.
That's
Very
one
nice.
of them there, and that's barges. And right here, that's barges near. And then this was the biggest fish we caught.
That was the biggest one,
25 and a half, and that's Freddie LeBon. Go ahead,
Nice
Freddie.
fish.
25.
Nice
Look at it. He had to hold it up.
Two hands.
Both hands.
Oh yeah.
And this is Fort Travis right here, a famous fort during one of the wars in Texas.
Okay.
And Ray Bello.
Ray wasn't cooking?
Well, yes, sir. He cooked, and it wasn't. He did this on his own. He decided to cook Saturday a lunch. And boy, we were lucky when we got back from a hot day. We had been out there since about 6:30 in the morning. Came back at about 1, but they had saved us some of the good food, and that's Paul Sutter right here.
There you go.
And that's Bobby Dupre and my partner, Joe Ramey.
the fish you caught.
Look, the fish we caught. We had a great day. That's Saturday, and got a few nice fillets that I was able to take home. That's Leroy Richard from Peteville. I call it Peteville. I hope he doesn't mind that, near Lawtell, Louisiana. He didn't ride his bike, by the way. It's a little too far, he said, but he did exercise, believe me, you. And that's Freddie in the middle, sitting down, seasoning the fried fish and fried shrimp.
Making me hungry just watching it.
Oh, Lordy, those guys really put us a meal up. This is Saturday night. That's Wayne Laws, Doug, and Donnie. Donnie's partner is Doug. And here's Kevin Grimmett and Benny Richard, and I guess that's the sheriff sitting in the back.
Oh, yeah,
I've got a closer picture of the sheriff in another picture coming up. There's the sheriff.
There
Better
he is.
picture of him right there.
Very nice.
And I spoke
Good
about Terry
turnout.
Fontenot. That's Terry Fontenot in the red shirt. I'm sure it has UL written on it somewhere. And of course, that's our boy Ray Bello, Mr. Ray. And
I gotta have a drink station.
Gary LeJack. Go ahead, Gary. They're still in mourning. Lost his little niece, Gabby. It was a sad day. There's our porter. Ray. And this is George Snyder, and I've got to send him some pictures. Okay, I didn't forget George, and this is, well, on the right is Gary again with Jimmy Bellera from Opelousas, two Opelousas guys on our side. And that's Kevin Grimmett, and that's Jerry Rendez and Bobby Dupre.
There you go.
And that's they're eating supper on that's on Saturday night. The tables are full.
Go ahead.
And these are the
That's
awards, Saturday night awards, and that's Joel's son, Judd, Judd Adams, and presenting the large speckled trout trophy that y'all saw a picture of already to Bobby Dupre. And Joe and Jerry complimenting me on the trophy. Thank you, Joe, for helping me out like you always do. And another trophy, I forgot what this was, but I don't think Gary caught that fish, but he caught a nice trophy anyhow. And that's Judd. And then Judd presenting Mark Tolson. Go ahead, Mark. He got an award. I couldn't see what it was. And
Ray got an
Sportsman
award?
of the Year went to Ray Bellow.
All right.
And that's and then these are that's the
that boat
fine boat out.
Man.
Intrepid. The brand is Intrepid. It's about a 40 plus foot boat. Did you see those engines?
Yeah, three
Roll it
350s
back.
on it. Go back one.
Go back one. Just look. Everything's white on that boat. This boat is owned by Larry Del Papa, and Larry and I guess his family own the Budweiser distributorship that covers the Galveston, Texas area and the Beaumont, Texas area. So he can afford that little boat right there.
Yep.
But look at that. It's one of the prettiest boats I've ever seen. Everything is color-coded white. It's very unusual. Beautiful. And this is the guy that does all the planning and works so hard, Butch. Butch is the captain of that side for the weekend and does a wonderful job. Butch, thank you so much for your kindness and your friendship.
Well, good. Well, I think we got all the pictures of the rodeo in, and we kind of went way over on our scheduled time there, but I wanted to show all the pictures. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back for a little bit shorter of the next segment.
Welcome back to the third quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show, and of course we've taken care of most of our pictures, but we have couple more to show. Let's do them right now. Then we'll go to our good sponsors who make all of this happen at no cost to you. And this is the neighbor next door. He moved there about 6 months ago next to Joe's camp. And I'm speaking of Lee Morrow. And Lee has a good long record of hard work. And he was, I guess, the last business that he had that he was active in was air conditioning service business, installation and service. And I think he still gets a few calls, and he might, to keep himself alive and healthy, and I guess make a few dollars and take care of that fun he's enjoying. He said he loves it. He said he wished he'd chosen a life out there next to where all the fish are a long time ago, and he has his own boat. And he had a son-in-law and a friend over, and they had a little construction job going, making trash bins. And I'm going to show some pictures, some bad pictures of trash by my bin that is not my bin, but we'll get to that in a minute. Anyhow, Lee, thanks for being my new friend over there. Looking forward to seeing you again. And this is some sunsets that was sent to me
on the beach
by Caitlin Gilray Trahon. Her husband is Ryan Trahon. Caitlin, of course, was advised by her daddy, Blaine. Bobby loves sunsets and likes to show sunsets, so you love sunsets, Caitlin. Why don't you send him a couple? And she did, and look at them, beautiful.
Nice.
And then this is pictures of my house. This was a tree that was leaning towards my house, which is gone now. As of this morning, it'll probably be about now down to the ground. But this is the trash around the bin that I allow a business next to me to play. Just look, now that's not, somebody came and picked up a lot of the trash. It was almost halfway up to the sides when I saw it Sunday night. kind of upsetting, really. And reason I had gone over there, David Lincoln called me. He said, "Did you see how that tree fell on the house next door? Look, that big tree fell."
Yeah, I see a big hole in the roof.
Hole in the roof. Then we're gonna take some more pictures. That's where it hit. The part of it hit.
Oh,
then that
yeah.
is my building right there, and that tree on my neighbor's property is leaning over. And
Oh, it's
look how
about to go.
tall that
Yeah.
baby is. And that's a dead tree. So I'm at risk. I've got the number of the house, 108 Academy, and I'll try to get a hold of the people, because you know you're responsible when you put on notice that something like that is threatening to damage my property. Hopefully I can get a hold of whoever owns that building. I see they have it locked up. Then I keep talking about the museum that we're going to be opening over in Plaquemine, Louisiana.
Right.
I'll get it out.
Boxing Museum.
Don Landry lives in Baton Rouge now, from Lafayette originally, but who's done so much hard work for us. Is keeping me posted. They're progressing. We just got to have a final contract with the city and what they're going to do and what we have to do. And he's asking, and I'm asking you, if you have any memorabilia from your Louisiana High School boxing days, we'd love to have it. If you get it over to my office, I'll get it over to Don, and when we open the museum, we'll have it into the museum. We already have a nice amount, but we need some more. The only thing that I have is this blanket. Can you imagine a 17-year-old boy thinking he was a young stud? You know how you all went 17, and the coach gives you at a banquet one night a blanket.
That's like getting socks for Christmas.
Yeah, that's right. And you had no shoes to wear with the socks. But let me tell you, that was Coach Kermit Cuvier, the one year that he coached boxing. We won state that year, by the way. And I still use this blanket every winter. It's in the back of my chair, my recliner chair that I use every day when I'm at home. And so, you know, sometimes...
Coach knew he was giving you something you'd use later.
That's correct. So, Coach, and thank you so much for all you did for all of us young men. And you made men out of boys. And we love you. And hope to see you when that day comes. And I was looking through one of the June edition of the Bon Nouvelle over in Ville Platte, and I saw this picture of Julie Dornell. And of course, Julie Dornell was the daughter of Jules and Loretta Ashlock. And Loretta Ashlock was the nanny, the godmother of Adelaide Richard Dupre, Bobby Dupre's #1 first wife there. And Julie and her husband Glenn moved back to Ville Platte, and they liked to do walking, and they found that this particular road was really in bad shape. So they adopted the road. The parish, Evangeline Parish Police Jury System, put up the sign for them. So if others would like to do that, they challenge you to take a piece of road and keep it clean and do your walking and exercising. And what a good project. Julie, I haven't seen you in a long time, but Adelaide and I and you and your, I guess, first husband had a lot of good times together. And another picture we have is the picture of Theolia Martin. And the next picture, Dylan, shows her on the left in the white cap and gown. She became a registered nurse from New Orleans. She went to college in New Orleans, and then she wanted some adventure, and she wanted some travel, and she wanted the government to pay for it, and she would give it her very best. And she retired as a lieutenant colonel, and that's her picture in the military when she was a young girl. And when she served her time and went to many foreign countries on the job, when she retired, you know where she moved to? Right back to Ville Platte. I'd like to see you in person one time and get a little bit of history on you when I write that book.
There you go.
Both of you, Julie and you could certainly help me make a chapter or two. How about that? It's going to be done with pictures and stories.
Well, let me give you a little bit of history on the LHC group. The LHC group started in over a little cup of coffee in, what's that little town?
Saturday morning on Palmetto, Louisiana.
Palmetto.
North
Andrews'
St.
neck of the woods.
Andrews, yes, correct. His father still lives there.
That's right, that's right. So the LHC group has grown into a huge conglomerate of companies, and their motto, of course, is it's all about helping people. And LHC Group, you can see their website on the screen here. If you visit lhcgroup.com, you can learn a lot more about them, from career opportunities to what's in the news lately about them, and their services, which are like home health, hospice, long-term acute care, and some of their community-based services. Visit the Louisiana Healthcare Group online and see why it's all about helping people. And we want to tell you about Dixie Storage also, with over 1 million square feet combined of storage. That's a lot of storage, and like Bobby would say, that's a lot of concrete. You can see Dixie Storage in Port Barre, Opelousas, and Washington. And I think they have a new location coming up in Opelousas with some even more storage, so it's going to be
West
over
Lander
1 million.
Street, the former glass manufacturing company, and the Japanese company that no, that wasn't a Jap. I'm sorry, that's Louisiana sold to the Japanese company.
Right.
But it was an out-of-state company that had bought them, and they've moved operations somewhere else. And Joy saw the need and is converting that into a first-class warehouse space, and right downtown, close to the interstate and close to the railroad tracks. Can't beat it.
Look at that storage area. You can see that right there, how huge. And then there's some of the storage in those areas. So go see them over at Dixie Storage. Visit them online at www.dixiestorage.com for all your storage needs.
Okay, saw a little bit of the British Open, and it ended up having a three-way playoff. And Zach Johnson was the celebrant. He won the tournament. And it was quite a playoff. They played 4 holes, and he came out 1 hole ahead of the other 2 guys, if my memory serves me right. Not much on to. But one thing I noticed was how beautiful it was held in St. Andrews, Scotland. And that golf course and the terrain was just absolutely beautiful and very challenging, I might add. You got to be a golfer to play that.
They're going to do it right in Scotland.
I did look for one person in all that crowd, and it was my nephew, Cornelius Dupre, better known to most of us as Corny. Corny, I looked for you. He loves Scotland. He's got some of his dearest friends that live there. They are Scottish. And he had even considered getting a castle there, but that didn't work out. And what he did then was built his own castle on the side of the mountain in Aspen, Colorado. And I went there, and I'll tell you what.
I saw the pictures. It's a castle.
It's a castle. So I looked for you, Corny, but I didn't see you. But I wouldn't be a bit surprised if you didn't spend at least a day or 2 there for this, because he travels. I mean, he can be in Houston one day, and he can be in Australia the next day, and Scotland the next day. I mean, this guy, I don't know how many miles. I guess he wished he'd have kept the air miles he flew, which would be very interesting, because I'd put him up against nearly anybody. Anyhow, the Orphan Train stories were shared last Saturday in Opelousas for the annual gathering. And I'm sorry I wasn't able to be there, but I did my share of advertising of the and I hope the crowd was good. I understand it was. They were very satisfied with the attendance. Good weather, you know, always helps. And for the very first time, Miss Alice Bernard, who was the oldest living orphan train rider in Louisiana, passed away last year. So this was the first gathering without her presence. And I mean, up until the end, she was very, very active, very alert, and what more can you say? Kind of like Mr. Marion Horman. You remember I said 96 and still alert. I mean, he talks like he's an 80-year-old boy. And he is. I mean, some people just have it. And
the mind ages different than the body sometimes. Well, look, we need to take a quick break. We've got about 10 minutes left of the program, so we're going to go ahead and go to break now. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Welcome back to the fourth quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show, along with my sidekick here, Mr. Matt LeBlanc, and our highly educated new technician in the outside room over there, Mr. Dylan Guillory. And you have some sponsors to talk about real quick.
I want to talk about our good friends over at the Steamboat Warehouse in Washington. Jason Hugay, chef
Historic
owner,
Washington.
Historic Washington and historic Steamboat. Look at those dishes. I don't even need to say anything. The food speaks for itself. There's Jason Hugay preparing that steak right there with the etouffee on top of it. Go see him over in Washington at the Steamboat Warehouse restaurant. You will not be disappointed. And we want to mention Jason's partner in crime, Mr. Joey Quibido, over at Piggly Wiggly in Opelousas and Simsport, 2 locations in Opelousas.
But we're joking about that crime.
No, no crime. The partners in cooking is what it is.
Cooking is what it is.
But Joey and Kevin over at the Piggly Wigglies run a really good show. You got a Piggly Wiggly in Opelousas on the north side of town, and freshly on the south side of town, the Piggly Wiggly has changed to CashSaversGrocery.com. I'm sorry, Cash Savers Grocery. You can go visit them for a little bit differences in the price. Really, really good store, great prices, and don't forget about their location in Simsport. Go to thepig.com is their website. And we want to tell you about one last one right here, the Medicine Shop Pharmacy in Opelousas. Medicine Shop's Simplify My Meds program can have all your medications ready on the same day each month. No repeat trips to the pharmacy each week. But there's more. If you're a caregiver for an elderly loved one and would like to help keep track of their medications, Medicine Shop can help with special dispill packaging to help your loved one take the right meds on the right day at the right time and give you peace of mind. Go to this website here, www.medicineshop.com/OPEL for Opelousas for a demonstration video, and they can show you right there.
They're really recommending that someone assist the elderly when they get older to take the proper medication. Very, very important. It's very confusing.
And Medicine Shop can help you with that for sure. Absolutely.
And that's one of their specialties. You bet. Can I?
Yeah, we're done. You can
I can go ahead with it. Cravens Jr. appointed to the National Urban League. Donnie Cravens Jr. 2 sons of former Louisiana mayors are steering the National Urban League over in Washington, D.C. One is president and CEO Mark Morial, and his father was Dutch Morial, who was the mayor of New Orleans, as well as Mark Morial was the mayor. And then the other is Donald Cravens Jr., son of his namesake, the former mayor of Opelousas. Now, he was not the mayor of Opelousas Jr., but he did follow his father's footstep into the senator's race.
Right.
And was elected senator, gave up the seat of senator.
Worked for Mary Landrieu.
To go to work for Mary Landrieu. And then, of course, when she got taken out of position, defeated, he moved over to the National Urban League, and he's going to be he's an attorney and real nice, friendly,
good guy.
Intelligent
like
young
Donnie
man. Should do a good job and help Opelousas area if we need him. Tough loss to take, and lots of people last night were watching ex-LSU star Nola strike out 6, but a home run beat the Philadelphia Phillies, who he plays with, 1-0. He was taken out, I think, in about the 6th inning, but did a beautiful job. He was very calm, very matured. Everything went well, except they couldn't score a run.
Yeah.
And go down as a loss, but not in the coach's hands.
Right.
They're very satisfied in his first outing. And certainly that made everybody happy in Opelousas and Tigerland. Opelousas boxing team heads to competition. They're going to be going to Missouri. And Darryl Wheeler is the Darryl Wheeler is the coach, along with Mark Simeon. I saw Mark and talked to Mark about that, congratulated him on how far they've gotten in this first 6 months of working with these young boxers who had literally no experience at all, and they're going to this big match, and they'll be boxing against others with supposedly like
circumstances,
experience. So let's hope everybody's playing the ball game right. And good luck. And I'll try to be there next week. I saw him Monday, but last night I had to go to the funeral home, so I was kind of taken out of it. Will Curry's hot shooting earned him a shot with the Pelicans, and of course we're talking about Seth Curry. He aced his summer league. He played in the summer league, and he's on the Pelicans team, but he wasn't a first team player. He was just on the bench, but he's seemed to have improved considerably. And of course his brother Seth Curry, Seth Curry, won the most valuable NBA player award, MVP award. So if he could get almost as good as his brother, the Pelicans would have a home run there. And certainly, you know, we wish him. I met a friend of yours shopping at this week, and I met Ronnie Rue.
Ronnie Rue.
And his wife was with him, and he advised me right away that he's a musician, and he plays with the Leroy Thomas Zydeco band.
Road Runners.
Oh, Road Runners. I see that name quite a bit.
He's a road runner.
He's a road runner. And when he's not playing on Wednesday nights, when you tape the program, you tell me.
He's always there watching.
If they're not playing, he's still there watching. I really
very nice guy. I like Ronnie a lot.
I got to liking him. He just, you know, he introduced himself, and then he sat back and let me ask a couple of questions, because he knows he watches the program, so he knows my style. I will find out something about you. And yeah, he goes back to when we started Swamp and Roll.
Back in the old in-house in the building.
In the building, I remember that well. They've come a long way.
Yeah, we didn't even have a set then. It was just actually it was just the control room that they filmed in.
But it worked.
Yeah, it did.
And it's still
stuck around.
Going. So got a telephone call from Larry Leger. Hadn't heard from Larry in several weeks now, and he was passing through on the way to, I think, Dallas, and he says he's doing well. He's doing some motivational speaking and working with
that's his specialty.
Salvage companies and properly organizing and getting the computerization down pat like he used to do for his own and for others across the United States, I might add. So he's back to doing, but he's also got a crew working on the internet TV station. So we're going to be hearing more from him on that as time moves along. And we still got a couple of minutes. McGuire, Cajuns running back Elijah McGuire, who we've been hearing about on the Cajuns team in the past, but he's been named the SBC preseason player of the year. Can you imagine? That's putting a lot of load on that young man.
Sun Belt Conference?
Sun Belt Conference, that is correct. And Coach, good luck to you all. I know y'all are doing a lot of work right now. They're building up strength. They're putting weight on some of the players. They're changing players in positions. And it's all to improve their presence in their games. Strength has a lot to do with it. And weight, it's to put on weight but keep the speed at the same time. So it's not flabby weight, it's muscle weight.
Sure.
And the mind is constantly being told to improve the speed, not keep it where it is, but improve it. Because when you playing linebacker or something like that, you've got to be able to move just flash. When that ball hits that receiver's hand, if it's a running back, you've got to know which hole he's going to, and you got to be covering that hole and covering it fast. So anyhow, lots of good things happening in the sporting. I might add that last Friday night, Spirit of a Cat, the little thoroughbred filly that I have, Carl asked the jockey to kind of, I guess, paced her a little bit more. And we'd been running on the front end. He said, take her from the back and move her up. And coming out of the gate, something happened. I haven't asked Carl what happened, but really fell way, way back of the last horse. And I said, this is going to be embarrassing. I was watching it with some of these guys from Texas on my iPad. And I said, this is going to be embarrassing. So anyhow, she took off running and lost, came out second about this much. That was her third out of four. The last 4 times out, she's run third. She's run second 3 times, and it's time for me to find my prayer book.
Right there. While he's finding his prayer book, I want to tell Paul Potter hi. Paul watches the program every weekend, and he told me to tell you that.
How to have peace. Father, we long for your peace in the midst of our turmoil. Please help us to rest in you. Peace floods the soul when Christ rules the heart. Strong, strong words. Have a nice weekend. Thank you for viewing, and thank you and Dylan.